The room was cold, large, silent. Inside, the most powerful leaders in the galaxy sat behind long silver tables. They wore dark robes and had eyes that showed no emotion. They were not human. None of them were. One by one, they looked at the screen. In front of them, a blurry image of a strange world Earth was floating in the air. "This is the problem," one of them said. "It's human planet." Another leaned forward. "They are wild, violent, uncontrolled, like animals." A third. One nodded. "Barbarians. That is what they are. The stories prove it." They spoke in calm voices, but behind their words was fear. For many years, the galaxy had tried to forget about Earth. It was a small planet, far from the center. The humans were loud, emotional, and too difficult to control. So, the council stopped visiting. They banned all contact, but now something had changed. A human ship, small, old, and weak-looking, had been caught in deep space. It had entered forbidden territory. The council saw it as a sign. Humans were trying to rise again. That could not be allowed. "Bring in the prisoner," one of the leaders said. The doors opened. 2 guards entered, holding a figure between them. The human walked slowly, hands in chains, face calm. It was the first time in over 100 years that a human had stood in the grand chamber. The leader stared. Human stared back. No fear, no words, just quiet. "Why are you here?" one of the leaders asked. No answer. "Do you speak our language?" The human smiled. "Just a little." That smile made the room colder. "You entered restricted space. That is an act of war," another leader said. "Do you deny it?" Still no reply. Behind the human, the guards tightened their grip. One of them whispered, "Don't look so dangerous." The human's eyes moved slightly. Just for a second, watching, measuring. One of the younger council members leaned toward the others. "Maybe the old stories were wrong. Maybe humans are not what we feared." An older member shook his head. "Don't be fooled. Their strength is not in their weapons. It is in their mind. In their will. That is what makes them dangerous." Council continued the trial, but the human never spoke. It never showed fear. Never begged. After 2 hours, the council leader stood. "This is our judgment," he said. "You human are guilty of trespassing. You are to be held in a secure prison. You will be studied. If needed, removed." The guards turned to take the prisoner away. But before they could move, the lights in the chamber flickered. Then they went out. Darkness, shouts filled the air. Emergency lights blinked on. The council stood in confusion. The human was still standing in place. Not moving, not afraid. A voice came from the shadows. It wasn't human. It was a security officer speaking through a radio. "There's been a breach," the voice said. "One of the outer gates just opened. We don't know how." The council turned sharply. How could that happen? We have full lockdown. The guards pushed the human forward out of the room. As they left, one council member kept staring, his eyes wide. "Why was the human smiling?" he whispered. Silence fell again. No one had an answer. The prison ship moved through black space. Like a ghost, it was called the Cage, a floating fortress used only for the most dangerous beings in the galaxy. No one had ever escaped. No one had ever tried, until now. Inside the ship, metal walls hummed with energy. Guards moved with weapons ready. Every camera, every scanner was focused on one cell, the human cell. Behind a thick wall of glass, the prisoner sat in silence. No bed, no table. Just cold floor and glowing lights. The guards watched from behind the control panel. "Why don't they sleep?" one whispered. "They haven't blinked for hours," another said. The human was watching. Always watching. Every sound, every movement, every shadow. A technician entered the room. "We scanned the human's body," he said. "No implants, no weapons, no tech. They're completely clean." "Then why do I feel like we're the ones being studied?" a guard muttered. Another voice spoke from the corner. The prison commander. "They smiled too much," he said. "It's not right." Silence fell over the room. The commander stepped forward. He pressed a button. The glass wall turned clear. He faced the human directly. "You're not special," he said. "You're just an animal with soft skin and loud emotions. Your kind is finished." The human stood slowly. No chains now. No guards inside the cell. They simply stared. The commander laughed. "You think we fear you? We've crushed stronger species." The human tilted their head. A slow, calm movement. Eyes locked like a machine calculating every word, every weakness. "Look. At you," the commander said. "No army, no fleet, no escape. This is your cage. This is your end." The lights flickered again, just for half a second. But it was enough. The cameras blinked, the screens reset. And when the lights came back on, the human was gone. The cell was empty. Alarms exploded across the ship. Red lights, sirens, screams. The commander spun around. "Seal the levels. Find them." Doors slammed shut. Guards ran through the halls, but it was already too late. One by one, cameras went dark. Power systems failed. The lights grew dimmer, flickering like candles before a storm. In the control room, voices shouted over each other. "They've taken out power to the armory. No, wait, security room offline. We're blind." Engine deck just went cold. "How?" The commander froze, his face pale. "This isn't escape," he whispered. "This is war." Footsteps echoed through the halls. Not many. Just one. Calm. Controlled. One guard found a body on the floor, another guard unconscious. No wounds. No blood. Just silenced. In. Another hallway. A door opened, and nothing was behind it. Just darkness. Then a whisper. "Now you see us." The screen in the main chamber lit up. A message written in old Earth script. Simple. Direct. "This is only a scout." Silence. No one spoke. The commander stared at the screen. "Scout, what do they mean?" No one answered. In the next room, something triggered a motion sensor. A faint shape moved in the dark. Then it was gone. The guards started to break. Fear spread like fire. If this was just one of them. Someone said, "What happens when more come?" Another whispered. The commander clenched his fists. "Find the human," he growled, "or we all become the hunted." The prison ship floated quietly now. No alarms, no voices. Just darkness and the soft hum of emergency lights. The human was gone, but they hadn't left. Not yet. In the control room, the commander stared at the broken screens. Smoke filled the air. Half the systems were offline. Life support barely held on. Guards whispered in corners. No, not orders, prayers. They were afraid, not of a weapon, not of an army, afraid of one human. Somewhere in the ship, a door hissed open. 2 guards stepped inside. They didn't see the body hanging above them until it dropped. One hit the ground hard. The other reached for his weapon, but it was already too late. The human didn't kill them. They just disappeared again. Like a shadow between the lights, the message back on the Galactic Council station leaders argued, "We've lost contact." With the prison ship? What do you mean lost? Power failed? All systems down? No signal? No survivors confirmed. One of the leaders, older and colder than the rest, leaned forward. "It was a mistake to bring that thing here." Another replied, "It was one human." One. How could they do all this? A low beep sounded from the main console. A message had arrived. No sender, no trace. Just one sentence. "Now you see us." The room fell silent. The same old leader whispered, "If that was a scout, we are not ready for the others." 3 days later, a cargo ship drifted into a quiet sector near the edge of the galactic core. It sent no signals, responded to no. "Hails," a patrol vessel approached. "This is Patrol Unit Sigma 5. Unidentified ship, state your origin and purpose." "Go," answer. The patrol vessel scanned the cargo ship. No crew. No power, no heat. A dead ship. They moved closer. Then the cargo ship exploded, not a random blast. A controlled, sharp precision detonation. The patrol ship vanished in fire and silence. back at the command center. The data came in late. Someone placed a bomb inside the ship, the tech officer said. Buried under layers of metal, activated only when scanned. Who would do that? The answer came slowly. Humans. Asterisk, across several star systems, the same thing began to happen. Ships would vanish from space lanes. Entire outposts would go dark. When rescue teams arrived, they found the same thing. No bodies, no survivors. Just silence, and a message carved into metal walls or burned into screens. You should have left us alone. The council gathered again, panic now clear on their faces. This is not random. These are planned attacks. They're testing us. They're watching our response time, our weakness. They've had time to study us. One of the council leaders stood up. I want warships sent to Earth, he said. We end this before it spreads. The others agreed, and so the fleet was prepared. Asterisk, the fleet reached Earth in 7 days, 17 ships. Hundreds of fighters, carriers, bombers, troops, trained for full planetary control. The commanders smiled. They won't fight, they'll surrender. They always do in the end.
Ow.
But when they arrived, something felt wrong. Satellites were already tracking them. Old Earth stations, supposedly abandoned, came to life. And then, without warning, Earth spoke. Welcome back. The enemy fleet moved into orbit. Still, no resistance. The commander gave the order. Send down scouts. Test their defenses. Dropships entered the atmosphere. What they saw next was not expected. Cities had shields. Mountains had bunkers. Forests had traps. Rivers had launch pads. This was no peaceful world. This was a fortress. The first dropship exploded before touching the ground. The second disappeared behind a wave of fire and metal. The third never even reported in back on the flagship. Silence filled the bridge. What? What is this? The officer asked. The commander stared at the screen. It's a trap, he whispered asterisk. Before the fleet could retreat, Earth launched. Not one. Not 200s of missiles, from oceans, mountains, sky stations, invisible until the last second. Alien ships screamed as metal tore through their hulls. Fires erupted across the black sky. Explosions lit the stars. The humans didn't wait. Fighter ships flew up from Earth. Fast and sharp, they moved like nothing the aliens had ever seen. Agile, ruthless, silent. Within minutes, the entire fleet was in chaos. No formation, no command. We're falling apart. The commander tried to issue orders, but the signal was jammed to Earth had blocked their communications. They were alone. One ship managed to send a final message back to the council. Only 2 words. They're waiting. Asterisk, the sky was burning. Alien ships crashed through the clouds like falling stars. Some burst into flames before hitting the ground. Others were torn apart mid-air by missiles that came from nowhere. Above Earth, the battle was already lost. The fleet that was supposed to crush humanity was instead being erased. Asterisk, far away. On the central world of the Galactic Council, the leaders watched the battle from holographic screens. Red lights flashed. Alarms rang. Officers shouted across the room, but the leaders didn't speak. They stared at the battlefield in silence. Ship after ship exploded. Alien pilots screamed before the signal cut, one by one. Their fleet disappeared. They were waiting for us. One leader said finally, they knew everything: our ships, our weapons, our tactics. Another whispered, how did we miss this? How did they build all this in the shadows? A third leader stood. This isn't just survival, this is strategy, patience, intelligence. This is war. And it had only just begun. Asterisk, on the surface of Earth, humans moved like one mind. No shouting. No panic. Every step was planned. Every strike was exact. Missile silos hidden in mountains opened their steel mouths. Lasers from ocean platforms locked onto enemy targets. Old-looking satellites turned, revealing hidden weapon cores. Alien fighters tried to escape Earth's orbit. They didn't make it. A group of human ships, small, fast, deadly, shot past them like knives through wind. Alien escape pods drifted. In space, blinking for help, no one came. One alien officer, hiding inside the remains of his broken ship, watched a human craft float silently past. It didn't attack. It didn't need to. The fear was enough. Asterisk, a few hours later, the council received a signal. The room darkened. A single video feed played. A human stood inside a black room. No armor, no weapon, just eyes calm, clear, cold. They spoke slowly. You called us barbarians. You thought we were chaos, emotion, noise. You were wrong. We are order in the face of threat. We are fire that waits to burn. We do not shout. We do not show. We prepare. Now you see us. And this is only the beginning. The screen went dark. One word remained. Remember. Asterisk, across the galaxy, news spread fast. Earth fought back. Earth 1. Alien citizens began whispering. Is it true? Humans destroyed the fleet? They said humans were extinct. They said Earth was weak. Earth wasn't weak. Earth had been quiet. Quiet enough to be forgotten. Quiet enough to prepare alien military bases across the galaxy, tighten their defenses. Some began digging bunkers. Others tried to erase their involvement with the council. But deep down, they all knew. They weren't safe anymore. Asterisk, in a small system. On the edge of the galaxy, a cargo ship drifted near a mining station. No ID, no heat, no life signs. The station's crew scanned it. No weapons, no engines still. They didn't trust it. Too many stories lately? They watched it for hours. Then the lights on the cargo ship turned on. One by one, slowly, like eyes opening in the dark. Then the station lost power. 1 minute later, every screen inside the mining station lit up with a message. We are closer than you think. Then dash boom, the ship exploded. A chain reaction took out the entire station. No survivors. Asterisk, the Galactic Council was breaking. Some members called for peace talks. Others demanded full war. A few wanted to flee, to leave the galaxy behind and start fresh somewhere else. One voice shouted above the rest, "You let them grow. You called them barbarians and ignored them. Now they have become something worse." But no one could agree. And while they argued, Earth moved again. Asterisk, Earth ships began appearing in deep space. Not large fleets. Small, fast, invisible groups. They didn't attack planets. They attacked communications, power stations, fuel depots, shipyards. Every move was a message. We know your weaknesses. Alien commanders were left blind, deaf, and helpless. One base commander wrote in his last report, "They don't come with warnings. They don't leave survivors. They don't gloat. They just finish, and they are always watching." It started with silence. Then came the cold. Whole planets, once bright with life and power, went dark. No lights, no signals. Just emptiness. Not because of bombs, not because of warships, because someone had shut them down from the inside. And no one knew how. Asterisk, across the galaxy, systems failed. Starports, trade hubs, defense satellites, they didn't explode. Didn't scream. They simply stopped. When engineers checked, they found no damage. No viruses. Nothing missing, and yet everything was gone, as if the machines no longer wanted to work. Someone whispered a new word. Ghost code. It didn't destroy systems. It rewrote them, turned weapons into dust, made shields useless, made fleets blind, and deep inside that code, hidden between broken lines and sleeping circuits, was a signature. Human_protocol_0. Asterisk. The council tried to hide the truth, tried to say it was sabotage, a glitch, cosmic storm, but no one believed them anymore. The people remembered the first message. This is only the beginning. Now, the beginning had passed, and the real war hadn't even started. Asterisk, in the middle of council space. An old station picked up a strange signal. Not human. It's not alien. Something else. A ship approached. Small, circular, unarmed. The station's crew debated. Was it bait? Too late. The ship docked on its own. No weapons fired. The door opened, and a human walked out. Alone, no armor. No escort. No fear. The crew pointed weapons, shouted orders. The human raised one hand and spoke just 3 words. I am not here. Then dropped a black device on the floor and vanished. Gone like smoke and wind. The device began to glow, but it didn't explode. Instead, it played a voice. Calm, flat, mechanical. Your systems are ours. Your strength was a mirror. Your silence, a gift. We offered peace. You chose chains. Now we rewrite everything. The lights in the station flickered, then failed, and the station turned cold. Asterisk. Some worlds shut their gates, some fled to deep space. Some begged the council for protection, but others began to listen and wonder, what if they're not monsters? What if they were just waiting for us to stop pretending we were gods? What if we are the ones who need to change? Small rebellions started across the stars. Alien citizens took down propaganda banners. They smashed old statues. They opened forbidden channels and watched human broadcasts, human art, human history. And they found something they didn't expect. Pain, sacrifice, strength, unity. The kind that comes not from power but from loss, one rebel said. They were never weak. They just bled quietly. Asterisk Earth remained quiet. Its ships moved in shadows. Its code spread through systems like whispers in the dark. But deep underground, something was building. A chamber, a ring of steel, massive engines. Old machines rebuilt into new shapes. Humans moved without speaking. Everyone knew what was coming. The next strike wouldn't just be silent. It would be seen. Asterisk. Inside the grand hall of the Galactic Council, chaos ruled. Some screamed for surrender. Others begged for mercy. Few demanded a loud war, but no one had answers. The Council's war. Fleet was shattered. Their weapons didn't work. Their systems no longer obeyed. And the people were no longer afraid of humans. They were afraid of what they had awakened. The truth hit like a wave. This isn't revenge. This is a reset. We tried to break them. Instead, they became something stronger. Asterisk, the next wave didn't come with missiles. It came with choices. Across a dozen systems, humans appeared. Not with weapons, but with offers to miners. Trade with us. Learn our tech. To rebels. Join us. Write a new law. Not to the broken. Stand with us. Or fade with the old world. Some said yes. Some hesitated. Some tried to fight. But those who chose war were erased. Not with fire, but with silence. No one heard from them again. Not even a scream. Asterisk in the sky above a powerful alien capital. A new symbol appeared. Not a flag, not a fleet, just a circle of light. Hovering silently, it rotated once, twice, then projected. A final message. You called us barbarians. You came to cage us. Now, the tide has turned. Your cage is open. But we are not the ones trapped. The light vanished, and with it, the fear of humans turned into something worse, respect. Asterisk, the galaxy had seen wars before. Big ones. Bloody ones. Its planets burned. Species erased. But nothing like this. Because this wasn't a war. It was a calculation. And it was already too late to stop it. Asterisk long ago, before the Council ruled, before peace was forced across the stars, the galaxy believed in one simple rule. Power is control. Control is survival. So when humans first appeared, loud, emotional, scattered, the Council didn't see danger. They saw weakness, but they didn't look close enough. They didn't see how humans broke patterns. They didn't understand how humans adapted. They forgot something important. Fire may flicker, but it remembers who tried to put it out. And now, that fire had returned. Asterisk over a single cycle, 11 planets went dark. No battles, no explosions, just silence. Stations, cities, armies gone. Even orbiting ships couldn't explain it. 1. Crew watched an entire moon city blink out. No sound, no light, just ... off. The last message from the surface said, "They're not destroying, they're rewriting." Asterisk one of the oldest alien races, the ones who helped build the Council, sent out a deep wave transmission, uncrackable, undetectable, hidden in gravitational pulses. A voice answered, a human voice. "We know this frequency. We used it first. Gave you our silence. You gave us pain. Now, we'll feel what we learned from you." The call ended, and the stars near the sender turned black. Not because of darkness, because of thousands of tiny ships, each one silent, each one ready. Asterisk a Council science station. Built into the heart of a frozen asteroid, made a discovery. Deep in the wreckage of a human scout ship, they found something strange. A memory core it held. No data. Just one single image, a circle made of broken lines. They ran it through hundreds of systems. It matched nothing, until an old AI whispered, "That's not a logo, it's a map." Each line is a place they've already taken. We're over 300 lines, and the circle wasn't complete yet. Asterisk across the alien systems. Fear was no longer a whisper, it was loud now. Families fled, governments collapsed, leaders went silent. But one thing never stopped. The messages, short, sharp, always from nowhere, carved into steel. Printed in air, echoed in sleep machines. "We are not vengeance. We are the equation you ignored. You started this with chains. Now feel what you unleashed." Asterisk, a secret meeting was held in a starless zone. 3 of the galaxies. Last unbroken warlords sat in the dark. They called for a prisoner. One of the humans captured early, before the uprising. Before the prison ship vanished, he had been silent for years. Now, they wanted answers. "Why are you doing this?" one warlord asked. "What do you want?" The human looked up. Calm, he smiled. A smile with no joy. "You think we want revenge? You think this is rage? No. This is how we survive." He stood. "No chains, no fear. You called us barbarians. But we were your students, and you taught us well." Suddenly, every light in the chamber shut off. The warlord screamed by the time the backup lights returned. The human was gone, and every guard was already dead. Asterisk at first, they thought it was just humans from Earth, but they were wrong. Now, human signals came from asteroid belts, rogue moons, dead colonies, even abandoned alien cities. Wherever humans had once been crushed, they had rebuilt in the dirt, in the dark, in silence, and each one had waited. Now, they were all waking up together. Across the galaxy, one word appeared. We are many. Asterisk, a powerful alien alliance tried to strike back. They sent their last secret weapon, a gravity cage built to trap. A star system in time, stop all motion, freeze everything. They activated it above one of Earth's new colonies. It failed, not because the device was weak, but because the colony had already moved, not physically, technologically, they had bent space. Itself, they had outgrown gravity. The last log from the alien fleet captain was short. We thought they were fighting us, but they were leaving us behind. Then his ship cracked in half, without being touched. Asterisk in the beginning, the Council saw humans as a danger. Later, they feared them as a threat. Now, they realized something worse. They hadn't created monsters. They had woken a new force of nature. Not a people, not a nation, a direction. Forward, relentless, cold, clear. The humans didn't want the galaxy. They wanted freedom. And anything that stood in the way was just part of the calculation. Not fighting to win. They were moving to become something more. Something In the deep void near the edge of known space, something massive moved. Not a ship, not a fleet, a structure older than memory. Hidden beyond sensors, behind space itself. It had no engines, no signals, but the stars around it began to fade. And then, from every human claim system, the same signal echoed. The last key has turned. We were never alone. Now you will see what watched us while you looked away. Asterisk, the Galactic Council, now broken and powerless, tried to speak one final time. They sent their last message across all channels. We surrender. We accept peace. No response, just silence. Then, a quiet voice answered, not from a human, not from any known system. It sounded like many voices, all speaking as one. Peace was always yours. But you feared what we would become. You taught us war, then asked why we learned so fast. Now you beg peace, when all we offer is the truth. Asterisk, in ancient archives buried deep beneath an alien world, an AI found a forbidden file, thousands of years old, a record from before the council. It spoke of a world blue and green, far away, a species that learned faster than expected, who could feel pain and turn it into power. It warned, do not push them. Do not chain them. They will break. And when they break, they change the stars. But the warning had been erased long ago, ignored, and now it was too late, because humans weren't just rising, they were remembering. Asterisk, across the galaxy, strange shapes appeared in the sky. Not ships, not weapons, beacons. They floated, silent, watching then, one by one. They activated. A message played in every language, every signal, every frequency. We are the echo of what you created, or the result of your control. No longer human, we are the next. We were never alone. And then the stars opened. Asterisk, something came through, not a fleet, not an army. Something else, a force, a presence. Ancient and massive, it didn't speak, it didn't threaten, it simply existed, and the galaxy felt it across 1,000 worlds. People dropped to their knees, not in worship, but in understanding. They weren't fighting humans anymore. They were facing what humanity had become. Asterisk, in one of the last council worlds, a message appeared in the sky. Simple, cold, final. You feared our fire, but it was your match that lit it. Now the fire has spread. You may kneel or vanish. They were given one day to decide. Asterisk, some worlds admitted. They turned off their weapons. They opened their gates. They invited the change. Others chose pride. They armed themselves. Prepared to die, they expected fire, but no ships came. Instead, their gravity failed, their air cracked, time bent, and they disappeared, not destroyed, not erased, just removed, like mistakes on a page. Asterisk, in the ruins of a destroyed observation tower, one alien scientist found a final human artifact, a stone. Carved with words in old Earth script, he translated it slowly. We were weak, so you caged us. We were strong, so you feared us. Now we are free, and you are finally small. He looked to the stars, now filled with glowing rings and silent watchers, and he whispered, we never understood them, because they were never just human. They were becoming something else. Asterisk, no more attacks, no more warnings, just stillness. Not peace, but order, anew. Structure filled the void, not ruled by the council, not ruled by humans, but by the axt. Memory of what was done and what rose from it. Trade moved again. Ships flew. Planets lived. But every being knew. They lived now under a shadow. Not of fear, but of respect. Asterisk, a hidden probe. Floating in a lost system, recorded one last message from the edge of the galaxy. A whisper. A child's voice layered with thousands more beneath it. They called us barbarians. They broke our bones. They laughed at our silence. Now they listened to our steps. We were never alone. We were waiting. And now we are becoming. The probe's light blinked once, then shut down forever.